When I'm happy, I look like this. But when I'm really, really happy, I look like this. You can see here that I look really, really happy. I would probably use these words to describe myself. I would use the word ecstatic, or I might use the word overjoyed. Both of those adjectives mean that someone is really, really happy. Let's look at an example sentence. You could say this: he is ecstatic whenever his team wins a game. That just means he's really, really happy. Hey, welcome to this English lesson where we're going to look at over 30 adjectives that you can use to describe yourself and other people. And as I'm teaching each one, I'll try to do this little trick with my face so you can kind of see the meaning in my expression on the screen. The next two adjectives are furious and fuming. If I was furious or fuming, I would look like this. You can see that furious and fuming both mean that someone is really, really angry. It means that they are really angry and upset about something. Let's look at an example sentence. You could say this: he is fuming because someone stole his car. That would certainly make me really, really angry. I would be fuming if someone stole my car. The next two adjectives are perturbed or bothered. When you are perturbed or when you are bothered by something, it means that you're upset about it. You're not happy about it. You're definitely the opposite of happy. Let's use these in an example sentence though. You could say, she is perturbed because people keep throwing their garbage in the ditch along her road. So that would simply mean she is not happy about the fact that people are littering. The next two adjectives are outraged and incensed. If you are outraged about something, it means you're really, really angry about it. If you are incensed, it means you're really, really angry about something. Maybe something that happened to you or something that's happening in the world. Protesters are often outraged. Let's use one of these words in a sentence. You could say this: he is outraged because he is being treated unfairly. So he's simply angry because someone isn't treating him very nicely. The next two adjectives that you can use to describe yourself or other people are frank and direct. When someone is frank, when someone is direct, they speak the truth all the time, regardless of how it will make other people feel. If you ask someone who is frank or direct if they like your haircut, they're going to tell you whether they like it or not. They're not just going to say it looks good to make you happy. They'll just say whatever they think. Let's use one in an example sentence. You could say, she always speaks the truth. She is very direct. Or she is very frank. The next two adjectives are witty and hilarious. When someone is witty or when someone is hilarious, they're very, very funny. Witty means that you make little jokes all the time about what people are saying in a nice, fun way. And hilarious just means you are a fun person to be around. You make a lot of people laugh. Let's use one of these in an example sentence. You could say this: she is hilarious. She is always telling jokes when she's at a party. So someone who is hilarious or witty usually makes you smile and certainly makes you laugh. The next two adjectives are bright and brilliant. When someone is described as being bright or brilliant, it means they're really, really smart. When I was in university, I was in classes with some really brilliant people. They were really, really smart. Let's use one of these in an example sentence. You could say this: she always gets 100% on her tests. She is brilliant. Simply means she is a very, very smart person. The next two adjectives are quirky and kooky. When someone is quirky, when someone is kooky, they're a little bit different than other people, but in a very interesting way. Sometimes a silly way, or sometimes they might even seem a little bit crazy to you because of the things they do. Let's use one of these in an example sentence. You could tell by the beautiful art that she created that she was a little bit quirky. So it simply means she has some unique character traits that help her make really cool art. The next two adjectives are the adjectives chipper and cheerful. When someone is chipper, when someone is cheerful, they are happy. They are just fun to be around in a nice way. Like, they like talking to you, they like making you smile. They're just full of positive energy. Let's use one of these words in an example sentence. I could say this: when I woke up from my nap, I was really chipper. Probably because I was well rested. That usually makes me cheerful and makes me chipper. The next two adjectives are the adjectives secretive and reticent. When you are secretive, when you are reticent, you don't talk a lot about your personal life. You're a very, very private person. Let's use one of these words in an example sentence. You could say this: she was very secretive and did not speak very often about her personal life. So it simply means she didn't like to share a lot about the things she did. She was a very secretive person. The next two adjectives are the adjectives argumentative or combative. When you are argumentative, when you are combative, it means you like to argue with people. It means you disagree with them a lot. Let's use one of these in an example sentence. I don't get along with my roommate because he's very argumentative. That would simply mean that whenever I talk to my roommate, we get into a fight, we get into an argument. The next two adjectives are bossy and overbearing. When someone is bossy, when someone is overbearing, it means they're always telling you what to do. Maybe this is a family member, maybe it's your actual boss, but a bossy person or an overbearing person is always telling you what you should do. Let's use one of these in an example sentence. You could say this: he wasn't very nice to be around because he was very bossy. That would simply mean he was a person that was always telling other people what to do. The next two adjectives are cocky and egotistical. When someone is cocky, when we describe someone as being egotistical, it means they think they're the best person in the world for the job they're doing, or they just think they're better than everyone else. Let's use one of these words in an example sentence. You could say this: he was very cocky. He thought he was the best player on the team. So he thought he was better than everyone else, and we would describe him as being cocky. The next two adjectives are deceitful and devious. When someone is deceitful, when someone is devious, it means you can't trust them. Someone who is deceitful might lie to you when they're trying to get you to buy something. They might just not want to tell you the truth because they're trying to trick you. Let's use one of these in an example sentence. You could say this: I didn't trust the car salesman because he seemed deceitful. That would mean you didn't trust him because you thought he was lying. The next two adjectives are forgetful and inattentive. When you are forgetful, it means you forget things a lot. When you are inattentive, it means that you don't watch things when you're supposed to be watching them. Let's use both of these in an example sentence. We could say this: when I was young, I lost things a lot because I was forgetful. You could also say this: I'm not very good at taking care of pets because I'm inattentive. So they have slightly different meanings, but they both refer to a person who isn't really good at remembering stuff or paying attention. The last two adjectives, speechless and astounded. When you are speechless, it means you don't know what to say. When you are astounded, it means you're surprised and you don't know what to say. Let's use one of these in an example sentence. I could say this: I was speechless when they announced that I had won the award. So it's a situation where you just don't know what to say because you've been surprised. Well, hey, Bob the Canadian here. Thank you for watching this English lesson where I hoped you learned over 30 adjectives that you can use to describe yourself or other people. If you're new here, don't forget to click that red subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if this video helped you learn just a little bit more English. And if you have a bit more time, why don't you stick around and watch another English lesson?